So you've decided to take up salsa. What are the keys to getting you doing basic steps well? Well, I'm going to give you a few little tips before we go into the actual basic steps, of which there's three. First of all, I want you to ensure that you're in a comfortable position with enough room for you to move backwards, forwards, and sideways. That's the important thing. So you're not restricted in your movement, but you can do it in a relatively tight space. Second, I want you to ensure that you're in the right footwear. So look down at your feet. If you're barefooted, it's probably fine. If you're in your socks, it's probably fine for this purpose. Not so much for spins, because bare feet has there's too much grip with your bare feet. So if you're wearing socks or bare feet to go through the basic steps, that's fine. In fact, that's really good because it keeps you aware of your body. Now, if you want to do it in shoes, I'd recommend a flexible pair of shoes, first of all, that stress with your feet. So I think plimp soles are acceptable. Some really thin trainers might be acceptable. Something lightweight, which allows you to feel the ground a little bit. Obviously, you've got jazz shoes and dancing shoes, ballroom shoes, and they're also good for starting out in salsa, and they can also be used on the dance floor in social dancing. So you might want to invest in a pair of jazz shoes or dance shoes, ballroom dance shoes. The third thing is keeping on your toes. So whenever you've done a sport, you might have done sports at school, you might have do sports as an adult, whether it be racket sports or anything else. You probably have noticed that if you want to get to somewhere quickly, you want to be on the balls of your feet. This is true in boxing too, or martial arts. Like if you're very, very, very grounded, then it's hard to move quickly. Although certain martial arts, you are actually quite grounded and you're not on the balls of your feet. But if you do something like boxing, where they're doing a lot of moving around, like on their toes, then it's really important to be mobile and quick. So for that reason, what I want you to do is concentrate on shifting, being very aware of your toes. So what I want you to do is just sort of take a little bit of time just to sort of sway back and forth a little bit and just feel your toes engage. It kind of gets you aware of your body. And I think good body awareness is really critical in getting really nice steps. A few other things. So ensuring that your hips aren't moving unnaturally. That tends to be more of a problem with the ladies because they want to shake their hips. But just when you're learning basic steps, try to keep relaxed. Don't try and put in unnecessary hip movements because it will actually make your steps more difficult to make. It can throw your legs out of alignment and that sort of thing. So just be careful with that. And also keep your shoulders neutral and try to stand up relatively straight as much as you can. I need to work on my posture, so I know that it's something that's sometimes a little difficult to do, but have a go. Try to stand up as straight as you can. Also, it's good to flare out your chest a little bit. Flare out your chest because that's also important when you get a connection and you have a partner and you're leading, or if you're following too. Stick out your chest a little bit. And then I also think it's really important to know a little bit about the count. So in salsa, we've got our musicians count in bars of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But in salsa, we dancers measure, which basically involves counting to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You'll notice that if I do counting, I'm not going to count the 4th beat and the 8th beat. And I suppose they're sort of transitional steps. So everything interesting, or most of the interesting stuff, happens on beats 1, 3, 5, and 7. So let's just go into the basic steps a little bit, and we'll put this into practice. First of all, you're starting in this neutral position. You're about a shoulder width apart, your legs, and then my hands are going to be in the neutral position, so around here. They're not really doing that much at this present time. And again, relax shoulders. So now I'm going to take a step forward with my left foot. My weight is going to transfer from this neutral position where it's both legs are sharing the load 50-50 to this taking most of the weight. 1. And then back on, then we shift back onto our right foot and we distribute the weight fairly evenly. 2. And then back again. 3. Notice that I move my left foot past my right foot. They don't come level. That allows you to flow a bit more in your dancing. So 1, 2, 3. And then 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to just be as still and level as I can. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Let me do it from the side, just so you get that view, because it's a bit clearer. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And you can get pretty quick at doing this. I was practicing this every day, listening to salsa tracks and just popping them off really quickly. So starting slow, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and then speeding up. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And it's just a good challenge to do it as quickly as possible after time, because if you're doing it properly, generally you'll be able to keep up. If there's issues with your technique, they'll come out when you do it really quickly. Now we'll move on to the side basic, or the Rumba style basic. Not to be confused with the Rumba dance. So what I want you to do, again, start in this neutral position, shoulder width apart, and then same thing, we're going to keep our hands neutral, and we're going to step with our left foot and distribute your weight over to this side. So 1, 2, 3, and then to the right side. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's your Rumba style basic. I can do it this way too. I don't know how helpful it will be, but 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, final basic is the back basic. So I'm going to do that now. This is probably the one that I took the longest to do, or get the hang of. Took me a few months to get the right feeling. But you're taking back steps essentially. First with your left foot, then your right. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So now let's do the back basic. This was probably the most difficult of the basics for me to learn. It took me a few months to make sense of it, and even longer to integrate it into my dancing. But use it for things like copers. So it can be very important. Also, so you don't invade the follower's space. So 1, 2, 3. You're stepping back on your left foot. 1, 2, 3. Returning to that neutral position. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. A common thing to watch out for when you do any basic step is taking 2 big steps. Because if you take big steps, you are just naturally less efficient. So what I'd always suggest is taking smaller steps, especially if you're struggling to carry out a certain step in enough time. It could be because you're taking 2 large steps. So let's go through each of them again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Rumba style basic. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Back basic. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.